Good day, everyone. By the way, my name is Jimson Paul C. Cortez. For this video, I'm going to discuss the most well-known traits and attitude of the Filipino. First, positive traits of the Filipino. First, hospitality. Hospitality is a trait displayed by every Filipino, characterized by heartwarming generosity, and friendliness, exhibit for foreign and local alike. Filipino are well known for being hospitable. This is one of the most popular qualities of Filipino. Most foreign who have gone to the Philippines felt in love with the warm hospitality they have experienced while staying in the country. This kind this is a kind of value system which has experience in country thousand years ago. Good thing it Good thing is that the hospitality of the Filipinos is not only shown to the foreign but to its fellows as well. Following are examples of how Filipinos hospitality they show. Sample number one is when a person visit a friend's house, the host greet him or her, her with a very warm welcome. The host will immediately let their visitor sit down and will prepare a meal or a snack plus drinks and well prepared and for the visitor. The host will insist that the friend not to leave the house with the empty stomach. A host will always make sure you had a great time visiting them. Second, Filipino offer their guest room to the visitor if they going to spend the night. Third, meal offer to the guests are very special. A host always find a ways to prepare great tasting food that her visitor wants to eat. Our second most well-known trait of Filipinos is respect. This is observed not just by younger but also by Filipino of all ages. In the Philippines, respect for one elders is a tradition. Here are the example. Po and opo. These words are spoken by the Filipinos when talking to the elders or in order to show respect to person. Now, the second most well-known trait and attitude of the Filipino is respect. Respect is often observed not just by younger people but also by people of all ages. In the Philippines, respect for one elders is a tradition. Number one sign of respect is po and opo. These words are spoken by Filipinos when talking to elders, or in order to show respect to a person in authority. This this Filipino words means yes when answering or talking to the elders. Second, pagmamano. Another way of showing respect to the elders with when greeting them. This is done by putting their hands on their forehead for sign of respect. Second, Filipinos also show respect at work by making a bow to their employee and to give way to the in our school to give way to our seniors and greet them. Third, strong family ties and religious. Filipino values th- their families so much that they tend to keep families intact through the generation. Family go to the church and pray together because their religion is very important and creates a strong bond, marking God as the center of their lives. Filipino believe in only one God and majority of them population are Catholics. It also values system of Filipinos to pray before eating, going to bed, before start of the meeting, conference, or program gathering, and etc. etc. Fourth, generosity and helpfulness. Aside from being hospitality, Filipinos are also well known for being generous. They shared what they have to the people around them, even when they only have a little. This could be felt during birthdays, weddings, or festa when the visitor come to celebrate great tasting special foods and especially prepared for everyone. It's shared by friends, families, and even stranger. When you will be in trouble, Filipino cannot refuse to help you. They are always willing to assist you or lend a hand. 5. 5 number 5. Strong work ethics. Another good thing most Filipino have is being hardworking Filipino. They are always willing to work almost the whole day to provide their needs for their families. Sample for that is family Filipino farmer. Through earning a little, but they work harder with not much compensation. Aside from the regular work, Filipino always find creative ways to look for other source of income. They they got extra job or any kind that can just in a little bit time they can get money, like creating a small business from their home where they sell foods and other items for the convenience of their needs of their neighbors. Number 6, loving and caring. Because of the generosity, hospitality, and religiosity, Filipinos are found to be the sweetest and most loving in the world. It is expressed by both foreign and Filipinos women that most Filipino men are so sweet and beloved flowers bring her to a very romantic place, text her sweet cuts, and tell Ogden how special she is to them. Filipino women are also romantic and very caring, which often make some foreign want to marry them. Women tend to prepare dinner before their husband comes home. They love and value the relationship, always staying faithful to their husband. They love deeply and sincerely. Let's go to negative traits of Filipinos. Number 1, fatalism, or in terms in Filipino, bahala na, or in English, come what may, attitude. When Filipinos are facing difficulties and shortcomings incomes, they have this attitude or leaving it up to God to sort things out. An attitude to what goes around comes around. Filipino have tendency to surrender the future to luck. They have the strong confidence that everything will work out in his interest without doing anything. Filipino obtain accept bad news or circumstance without trying to stop or change them. This can be something to be helpful in adversity, but it can also keep us from finding ways out of situation. Also constantly expecting the worst get pretty depressing. Number 2, procrastination. A true-blooded Filipino have the attitude of causing delay in accomplishing things or making transaction. They when not inter- when not interested or not in the mood, they wait or reserve until tomorrow or the next day to finish what they are doing or meetings their transaction. However, they are some Filipinos nowadays who take their time in doing things or making decision frankly. They there are some Filipinos who are habitual late or not showing up at all. There are few Filipinos who are punctual for social meetings. In fact, it is not expecting of them to arrive exactly on time, especially at a party. The term bahala na attitude is the outcome of when the texts are left undone. This is usually show and even ex- expressing by people who do not care much of what lies ahead and just leave everything in faith. Number 3, crab mentality. This is an attitude of some Filipinos where they tend to push each other down to clear the way for their own gain. Filipino people with the kind of mentality or attitude try their best to ruin each other, either by making issue against others for him to turn out bad to the public, or the company or the organization, so that people will gradually put distance and lost their confidence and trust that even the result of their replacement. 4. Hypocrisy. This is a trait of the Filipino where the criticism of others people to live with the moral standard of the society are inevitable. In the Philippines, morality is higher value. Most of all, most of us trying to live up to the standard set by the tradition society. However, as no one is perfect, many of us are not actually able to sustain this standard. The fear is being an outcast has forced a lot of people to live a double standard life to hide our failure. People to live in following the norms. We tend to be condemning those who are caught red-handed. A perfect example of this be the could be the criticism faced to those who become pregnant outside of marriage. They have the fact of be they have the fact of being this scenario is that comes these critics could be actually engaged in premarital sex. Mingas Kugun. Most Filipino are very good at the start when doing something, either less after a few hours or days. The excitement of to do or accomplish something is lost. We and become too lazy to finish what were started. Mingas Kogon, the Filipino phrase of Mingas Kogon is used to describe a Filipino traits. Its literal meaning is defined as burning of kugon grass, a grass that only burn brightly after a first few seconds and it was lit. Being a minjas kugon impedes our path in reaching our full potential. Se- Next, tardiness. Tardiness. Only in the Philippines that we have so called Filipino time, but not exactly referring to the Philippines. Standard time, but they again we use it to refer to the tardiness of the person that we are waiting or who keeps on coming late to the set time schedule of event. Instead of being something to be proud of Filipino time, bring a negative impression to to our people when the invitation says the program will start at 7 p.m. It it is expected to being at 9. This has not only caused conflict in relationship, it also discourages other including foreign from getting involved in the sup- supposed productive activities as too much time can be wasted on waiting. Next trait is gossiping. Filipino are fond of talking about others' businesses. It is not true that only women are into gossip, ev- even if men can also noisy on other people's lives. Secrets are both failure and flaws are emphasized and religion are destroyed. Worse as gospel are passed around, they tend to be twist other to the final story becomes too far from the original, thus causing more damage. Next is blaming. Filipino can sometimes be too self-righteous. When mistake happens, we do not want to take the blame. We lack humility to accept our failures. And instead, we point at others. This shows how irresponsible we are on our action. This attitude destroys teamwork and reliability becomes an issue. Next, selfishness or being insensitive of others. Most Filipino are insensitive to the needs and situation of others. This could be an outcome of having too many problems that Filipino are facing and, and the tendency is to focus on their own needs first before others. 10. Disobedience to simple rules and instruction. Some Filipino, despite of being understanding of the purpose of law and ordinance, have inevitable to observe and follow them. Conse- cons- Consequently, crime, victimization, and incident rate in the Philippines are constantly rising. Property is getting more rampant and lifestyle development is relaxing. Next is attention taker. Filipino are fun and people loving race. Thus attracting attention is natural for them. Nevertheless, it is a different thing to be an epal or kapalmoks. Simple, being attention g- grabbing, grabber. Sometimes, in our desperation needs to be the center of attention. We do things that we are already embarrassing, like batting in conversation as a know it all, or by being scandalous. This habit is also a common to our pot- politician. Instead of prioritize their duty to give the best service to the people, they rather prioritize their take space to grab attention that will bring them more chance of winning in the next election. But thanks to our vigilant netizen, this thing this kind of potential earn more shame than fame. Our next is being onion skinny or too sensitive. Another habit or attitude that we need to change is our being too proud, which usually result of being oversensitive. If we can think highly of ourselves, then we have the tendency to put a wall around us and that a signboard on our forehead saying, I must be respected. Therefore, when someone make a joke or a not so positive comment about us, we like we feel like we are not respected and we are get offended. If all people in our country do not know how to accept constructive criticism, then we can never expect unity. Next, living beyond their means or social climbing. One of the reasons why a lot of Filipinos live in property is because of overspending, since most people want to live and elite lifestyle. Many resort uh, to socialize climbing or living beyond their means. Sometimes, some of us think that as long as we were designing clothes and shoes and we spend our children to the most expensive school, it already to be swimming in credits and loans. Next is passivity or lack of leadership. Filipinos' lack of initiative for change is also one reason why our country does not progress. We keep on complaining against the government and other societal issue. However, we do not we do not do anything about them. One of our excuses is the lack of faith that our small action can bring change. However, the worst reason this could be our lack of care for what is happening around us. Common Filipinos also lack courage and confidence. If you can notice it in classroom, church, or conference room, most of us don't like to sit in the front seat. Next, last one. Other negative threat. Some some Filipino women give birth at the early age 16, teenage pregnancy. Some goes just some just don't mind their own businesses. Some have many bad habits like drinking, smoking, etc. Some poor teenager engage is prostitution. There are many broken families, a lot of bad words to those from which Filipino just can't avoid saying those. Most of Filipino tend to be with friends most of the time than to be their their parents. And that's all for today's video.